Yeah, I've actually had like a very fast track, I could say, paintball journey because like within the first year, I got to meet like a couple professional paintball players. Like Pat Craft, Josh Taylor, Pat Craft from Iron Man, uh, Taylor from New York Extreme, Harris Hussein from New York Extreme. So these are guys that I got to meet, watch, talk to, and just pick their brain, when they out there on the field and when they off the field. And actually, Pat Kraft has been like a mentor to me, a coach, So he's been very on hands with me.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Paintball Lounge. I'm your host, Zachary, known as the voice of Louisiana Paintball. And today I have a very special guest with me. I got Tony, or Antonio, however you want to call him, from BX Distortion.
Yes, sir.
And where y'all from?
From the Bronx and Albany also.
Nice, nice, man. And welcome to the show, man.
Thank you for having me.
Hey, no problem. So, how long have you been in the sport of paintball?
It's going on 2 years. I'm on my second year, the very beginning of my second year, but I've been doing it going on 2 years.
Going on 2 years. So, okay, so this is just something new for you, or still new to it?
Yeah, I'm still very new to it. I'm only D5. Like, I'm not even like very much ranked, but yeah, I'm very, very new.
Okay, hey, that's totally fine. And how you like it so far?
I love it. I love the sport. I love the community of the sport. I love, the camaraderie of the guys and what the sport brings to it, like the family. I've met so
Mhm.
many sport. So, I love it, man. I'm in love with it.
Hey, that's perfect. And I see you're watching a little bit in the background, isn't that on that TV?
Yeah, yeah. I'm always trying to lock in with paintball. Whenever, I have a little free time, I'm always trying to do something with paintball.
Hey, that's hey, I mean, that's great because you're learning and you're learning how to be better and or any news that comes out for it. So, what other sports were you playing before paintball? I mean, since you're brand new, like if you want to talk about.
I played like basketball, football, baseball, but yeah, like I was here and there with it, and I used to also like when I was young, I used to break dance. Yeah, I used to break dance, and one of my coworkers actually, Lou, was the one that introduced me into paintball, and we went out, one weekend as for friends with my family, friends, cousins, brothers, nephews, and we had a good time. We went to High Vibe up in Long Island,
Okay.
high velocity. We went out there, and yeah, ever since then, man, I've been playing paintball.
And so you basically went from like a rec ball kind of style, now you're playing for a team.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I made a BX team that I actually made up. Um, yeah, I started off with rec ball though, and then they had a speedball field there. Me and my brothers and friends and cousins and family was intrigued by the speedball field. And then me and my nephew, we actually like been playing paintball together for consistently for the 2 years.
Mm.
He's the one that like kind of introduced me and my friend Lou into the other paintball fields that we've been going to. I've been going to like the one in New Jersey, Long Live Paintball, the one in Arkamdale, Hornets Nest, the one in Troy, Capital Combat Zone. I've even been to Battle Creek. So I like to go to different fields to try to play against like different levels of paintball. Like D5, D4, D3, D2, like even if I could play against semi-pro or pro players, I'm with it. As long as I'm learning, I don't mind getting my ass kicked. But as long as I'm learning, from the sport, then I just want to keep learning from the best.
Right. And that's a great mindset to have. Like you rather learn, and get better every single day. And I love that mindset because if you're not at least learning just the smallest little details, then you're not playing right.
Yeah, I've actually had like a very fast track, I could say, paintball journey because like within the first year, I got to meet like a couple professional paintball players, like Pat Craft, Josh Taylor, Pat Craft from Iron Man, Taylor from New York Extreme, Harris Hussein from New York Extreme. So these are guys that I got to meet, watch, talk to, and just pick their brain, when they out there on the field and when they off the field. And actually, Pat Craft has been like a mentor to me, a coach, so he's been very on hands with me.
That's great. I mean, hey, you're you're for 2 years and you're already loving the sport, and that's a lot of people who are trying out their first year, they usually get like, oh, I don't like it, or then they get the ones that really like you and me who are really hooked onto it. Like the first time you play it, you're like immediately hooked onto it, and spend like thousands of dollars on the new shiny gun.
Dude, I'm like 3 guns in right now. C, R5, R5 Twister.
Oh, you got the twister.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody's getting a quick twister from me. That's okay. I got my beauty. I got my CS3, and I'm not getting rid of it because it's the only one that is the black and blue, and they don't make the CS3 the original platform anymore. So I'm like, yeah, I'm keeping this as is. Like it's my baby. So BX distortion, like how did that start it?
It started off with my coworker Lou, my nephew Los, my brother Dez, my other brother Angel, and I wanted to be a part of a team, but I wanted to do it like my way, like I didn't want to have to deal with anybody or anything.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause I saw other teams and I didn't. There were certain things that I just didn't like. So I was just like, you know what? Let me just try to do my own thing. So that's how BX started, and then we wound up merging with another team because we couldn't like get enough players
Mm-hmm.
because it was just like me, my brother, my nephew, my coworker. It was like only 5 of us. So then I wound up merging with some guys that we met at Capital Combat Zone, and then from there, we just been balling, man.
Hey, I mean, I understand. I mean, sometimes you have to merge to be better or to like, learn your skills and stuff like that. Or maybe some teams that, like, especially when you face, during practice, some of the teammates that when you merge, they can show you that, hey, you messed up on the Rio side or the Snake side. Um, and it's great advice. So, did you play a recent event?
I've done like local events. I haven't done anything like NXL, but I've done like local events. I just won a recent 3-man event at Hornets Nest.
Hey, how was that?
It was exciting, man. I loved it. The refs was good to us. The people there, the owners, they great. They on hands with us. Dell, Jesse. They all on hands with us. They always giving us advice and helping us out. That's our home field, and we love it there, man. Like it's like a family. If we wanted to spend the night there, we could spend the night there. Me and my nephew done stood there, like went after work straight over there from the Bronx, so, up there in Arkansas, Albany, and get there like 6, 7 o'clock, and we there till like 1, 2 in the morning.
Wow.
Just grinding, man, just grinding.
That's awesome. I mean, and you actually are grinding. If you're going to be there like 1 o'clock in the morning, I cannot do that. I gotta get some sleep.
But I'm a strong believer that like the hard, whatever hard work you put into it, you're gonna get out of it. So, and I believe that like when you putting in the hard work, like while everybody else is sleeping, relaxing, hanging out with their girlfriends, hanging out with their friends, doing whatever they doing, we like how they say, we in the gym.
Right. And you gotta keep on grinding. You're grinding to be, to achieve what your goal is. And you know, I respect nothing but respect for you for doing that. I mean, not a lot of people could do that.
I appreciate you. And
Hey, no.
it's seeing people like Harris Hussein, Josh Taylor, Pat Craft, like it makes me want to get to that level. And I know the only way, I'm gonna get to that level is working just as hard as them. Like if me watching them and seeing them how hard they work, like as Pat Craft as my mentor. Like he sends me like videos of him in the gym. Him. He's always at the field putting in the work too. So like I know it's on and off the field. It's not just you put in the work in when you on the field. It's off the field too that matters.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. Especially like, you gotta be, kind of not in shape, but you gotta like, work on your cardio and stuff like that. So that way you don't feel sluggish or like you'd be like, oh, my timing is off. And so when you get on the field, especially speedball, like especially off the break, which different layouts, every single event is they're starting to become more blind layouts. You gotta be fast, you gotta be quick, or at least get to your bunker.
Yeah, I mean I'm 40 years old, so trust me, like I know what you mean with the fast. So I try to be as fast as I can. It's something I'm working on right now too. Is like trying to get my speed up even faster.
Hmm.
But I know what's also big and important in the game is the IQ. People don't realize how important that is. For you to have that IQ when you're out there.
Right, exactly. Because now, since the NXL has released that new rule book of pros now doing only 5 pods, I don't know if it is for the rest of it for the divisional side. I don't think it's the same for the divisional side, but it's just we're starting to get that little development where, okay, instead of like holding so many pods, we're gonna be more like chess pieces even more and strategize like, all right, since we have less pods, how we're gonna play this.
I agree with you 100%. Yeah, it's more methodical now. Like even I don't I mean I don't know, I'm not a pro, but I'm assuming that even probably now that they're shooting with less pods, less paint, probably the shooting is going to be less also. They're not, because now they got to conserve they paint. So it's probably going to be like a faster game.
Mm-hmm.
And now maybe the lanes is going to drop or something. I don't know. It's going to be something to watch though.
I think, yeah, and it's hard to watch paintball to be honest. Like, even for being as a fan and as well as watching like D5 or any of the divisional, it's hard to watch it because here we are, we're shooting 10 balls per second, and only way we know who's has the upper hand is like by the bodies, and or we know the player and be like, oh, that player is going to get a 4 pack, or mouse is going to run down because mouse is mouse. So, and anything can happen. So, and now since it's going to be more methodical, like you said, it's going to be really interesting for this season.
I agree with you 100%, man. I can't wait to watch it. I can't wait to be there and see it. Like I'm excited.
So I've heard that, if I'm not mistaken, that they changed Mid Atlantic to be a little more closer to New York.
Yes, yes,
How do you
yes.
feel about that?
I mean, it's my first time going, so I'm excited either way. But I mean, it's even better, like cost wise for me, that it's closer.
Mhm.
Tampa. Obviously World Cup is in Florida, so that's a little more expensive, being that it's in Florida with the traveling. But it's always nice to have tournaments that's not too far. That's like drivable.
Right. Okay. I mean, it's just when I saw it, I was like, whoa, it's going to be a little closer to New York. This is the new thing. Like, because we're always Mid Atlantic, it's always like, Philadelphia, or it's usually New Jersey. And I was just like, this is new.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, this is really new.
I agree with you 100%.
So now, since what position do you play as? Are you more like the snake player, or are you more as a the Rio player?
Well, I was playing the two, but now I'm trying to transition into playing the one. I feel like I'm a little more aggressive,
Mm-hmm.
but I felt like also being, with the people that I've been training with and the clinics that I've been going to and working with like Pat Craft and Harris Hussein and Josh Taylor, even, my fellow paintball brothers that some of them been playing longer than me, and I sponge off of everybody that I can. So whatever information, whatever IQ I can get, I try to get, and I try to adapt it to my game.
Hey, that's adapt. I like that. Like, you know, be like a chameleon. Just adapt to your surroundings. Or a lot of people say, because I say this because we had a person here. He's from here, Louisiana. He said that we're both dressed up as Power Rangers. Guys in Power Ranger suits, or be like me and like dress all in you know black mask, black jersey, black pants, and just lurk in the shadows. Like adapt and lurk in the showers and execute. But so now, your team is sponsored by High Stakes?
Yes, yes, we are.
So what is about High Stakes? I mean, I've heard so much to it because they also are a sponsored by the New Orleans Smoke. So tell me about them. Like, how does it feel being sponsored by them? How's good the material is? Give me the story.
I had reached out to a fellow friend that I play paintball with, and who's like a brother to me, and he actually directed me towards them because I was looking for a good company to work with, and but something that was allowing us to still be us because I'm from the Bronx and I wanted to be like I didn't want to change anything about where I come from and how I play and who I am, So I wanted to have that original New York feel to it. So when I saw High Stakes, I was like, oh, this is perfect, And when I reached out to the owner, and his ideas were my ideas, just clicked in, and then the return was so fast. We needed it within a certain amount of time for a tournament. We did Outback, and yeah, like the material, the design to it, everything. We loved it. It's breathable. The design fits us perfectly, and I have no problem. This is gonna be our second season that we're gonna be sponsored by them. That we're gonna continue to work with them.
Hey, I mean, that's great. I mean, you found someone who has you know, understands the style and the vibe that you want to go with. And that's really hard. Like,
Yeah, and the
because,
design fire. I don't know if you've seen the designs, but and they design more than jerseys. They design like pants, headbands, like different things, for the paintball players. But the designs that they have is fire.
oh yeah, and I love it, to be honest with you. Honestly, to me, if I could, I would probably spend a lot of money on headbands just because of the design of it. And High Stakes and Enemy of the State. I hate paintball. All of these guys, the companies who are like hand stitching these headbands and dyeing them and everything, they're just always turning out so good. And I wish I had the patience for it, but I don't. But if I could buy all the headbands that they come out with, like I would probably have like a whole instead of this stuff right here. I would probably have nothing but headbands.
I used to have a lot of sneakers. Now I stopped collecting sneakers because everything's paintball. Trust me, I know what you mean, man.
It's like we have that collection. Like we're either a guns person, we're a JT mask, or headbands.
Yes,
It's
yes.
one of those three, and it's all. I've never seen someone with a hopper obsession ever, because it's just always those threes, and that's the God's truth right there.
Well, I mean, I have more than one hopper, but that's just because I have like a thing where I have to have like a backup to a backup
Right,
in case something goes down on me or something. Like I always try to be like extra prepared. So
right.
that's why I have three guns.
So, in your 2 years of playing the sport, you probably stumble in some crazy moments. Like, what is the craziest moment you had during your time playing paintball for those 2 years?
In regards to like on the field or like
It could be on the field or off the field. It could be either one.
so all right, I'll tell you this story. But I won't mention the team,
That's
but I'll
fine.
tell you. So I went and I won't tell you what field. But I went to a field and this was like in the very, very beginning of my paintball like journey. So like I wasn't like not even like 6 months into paintball. And the reason why I'm telling you this story is because like I just want people to know that no matter what level of paintball you're on, like when a kid or man, whoever, teenager, whatever, goes to a field and they intrigued in learning to play paintball, like the community should always be accepted to it. So the moral of the story is that I went to a field and there was a team there already, and they like kicked us off the field. Yeah, they kicked us off the field and they didn't want us to play on the field because they didn't want us to get the bunkers dirty. Like that stuck with me, and I didn't want to go to that field with my team for a very long time. So that kind of stuck with me, like, and to this day, like it still bothers me. I still go to that field, but it still bothers me that happened, Because if I was younger and I was in like a younger kid with, in that state of mind, like you don't know if you could have turned that kid away.
Right.
That's why it bothered me so much. But
I
that
agree.
was that was like one story that I could tell you about him.
Hey, no, that's totally fine. I mean, I know you're probably gonna have more crazy stories later on down the road because like you said, you're just getting started, and you know, but that to me, that's not how you grow the sport. That's how you make people not want to play at that particular field anymore. Because if you turn down like any team at whatsoever, you don't know if that team may be the next pro or semi-pro,
I
and
agree.
and then you lose sponsorships, and you will lose you know what was it called, exposure.
Yeah.
So that's just crazy. Like, if I ever see someone doing like that, I'll be like straight up like, hey, don't kick them off. Let them be on the box. Let them have their spins.
Well, thank God I didn't give up so quick. I wound up going because my nephew lives in Albany. So like that's why I said like everything happened so fast within my journey because like within like 6 months I just started paintball. I met Pat Kraft, a pro player, and after that like I just been you know under him trying to learn as much as possible as I can try to learn from him when I'm with him. So and like I said, I'm a sponge to everybody, so it doesn't matter what level or I'm always watching people,
Hmm.
and I'm always trying to learn. Like if something works for a player, maybe it'll work for me, no matter what the vision. So I try to like adapt from everybody that I can, take a little bit from everybody that I can.
Hey, and like I said, you learning and adapting will make you a really strong player. Because, and another thing is that people are too like they're too comfortable in one position. People need to be like you, man. You like, be like a sponge, learn and adapt, trust the process, and learn from the process.
Being coachable and teachable is important.
And
Well, you gotta have that attitude. Like that. No matter who you're learning from, but you gotta have that attitude and just like to be accepted of receiving the knowledge,
hmm
receiving the information that like there's things that people tell me and it doesn't even I don't react to it or it doesn't hit me right away. But then I'm in a moment on the field, and then it just clicks to me like what the person was telling me, and then I'm able to put it into play.
right, I agree 100%. So tell me this: like, is New York paintball, like paintball in New York, is it like a really big turnout, or is it like Louisiana where y'all are like, you're big, but you're not that big, like not like Texas or Florida?
It's big, but it's not big like in the city.
Okay,
So if you're not like in Jersey, like if
right,
you're not outside the city, then you don't really like you're not acceptable to paintball. You're not like you don't really know about it.
right.
You have to be in the circle to know about it or know somebody that's like doing it to want to do it or get into it. Like so, it's in Jersey, it's in Long Island, it's like upstate, but it's not like in the city.
Hmm.
So like the city kids don't really know too much about paintball.
Right. Okay. I mean, because I've heard so much about New York. You know, you got the Wrecking Crew, New York, like New York Wrecking Crew. I think that's what they're called.
Yeah,
And you got like New York Extreme and everything. I've heard so much about them. I was like, how big is New York when it comes to paintball? Because New York is known as, you know, Times Square, and all the big fancy things. Because my cousin used to live in New York, and that's all she would talk about. And I was like, you know, I never heard about New York having a paintball team.
yeah, yeah. We don't. I wish like the city. I talk about it with a lot of my guys. Like I wish somewhere in the city, because like you said, like New York has like so many trains and buses and stuff like that. So like a lot of these fields, we gotta drive out to
Hmm.
get to these fields. You know, like I'm driving. I'm driving with some of my guys like 3 4 hours to get to some of these fields. You know, so, and then that's another thing. Like, if I'm gonna go to any field, I'm gonna try to get the most out of it. So, I'm gonna play until like the field closes, and then I'm leaving. I'm not gonna just go there for like 3 4 hours and play paintball and go home. No, I'm gonna get there when it opens and try to get leave when it closes.
Right. And that's, hey, I mean, you're giving respect, exposure, and you're trying to help with that field out that you go to, whichever field you go to, like show some love. And honestly, that's, you know, that's what we all should do,
Yeah, yeah.
because there's so much controversy, there's so much problems, like, you know, oh, because you're going that field, oh, you're going that field, you're going that way, you gotta stay on this one. Like, no, come on. We all live in one state. We always live one country, one state at a time. Let's make the most of it.
I've actually dealt with that too already early in my career, where I have similar situation what you're saying, where like you know pick a field basically,
Yeah.
and you know I'm a player. I'm not an owner. I'm not into politics. I'm not trying to get into politics. So, like either you support me like I support you, and if you don't, then that's you don't. But I'm gonna go to whatever field I feel that's best for me and my team because
Right.
I want to compete at the end of the day. So like you don't want to keep competing against the same people because then you start to learn people and you get to like figure out people, and then how better are you getting if you're playing against the same people all the time. So I like to change up the fields that I go to.
That right there. You deserve a little sound for that. Give me one. That right there. Words perfectly. Because when you train with the same people, the same team over and over and over, you get comfortable. You like, maybe you will face that team in a tournament. Maybe like a big national tournament. Yeah. But the thing is when you get so comfortable with playing the same old team, they're not challenging you. You're not feeling the challenge. And I feel like every single team needs to at least to go outside of their comfort zone and play a different team from a different state. Even if it's
Yes,
like 2 hours away.
I agree with you. I agree with you. Like I told you, like I try to play teams that's like a higher rank than me because like if I'm playing guys that's way better than me, then when I start playing guys that's on my level, it's gonna be easy. It's
Mm-hmm.
gonna be so. I try to, I always try to compete against guys that's way better than me. Even if I'm getting my ass kicked all day, like I said, when I go against the guys that's on my level, I'm gonna be unstoppable. So
Yeah.
that's why that's how I look at it. That's how I see it. Like I always tell the guys that I practice with, like let's play against guys that's way better than us because that's the only way we're gonna learn. We're not gonna learn against playing against guys on your level. So we're gonna keep making the same mistakes.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. And that's why you and like everybody who can see the background, all these different places I go to, these fields and around Louisiana, is that's who supports the podcast. But it's also this: when every time I go play rec ball, because I'm mostly that's what I play nowadays. I love seeing the new marker and see the new style they play. Even freaking hyperball, like I will literally be like, "Hey, you got me," and I didn't see it coming. I'm like, "Oh, he know," like, and that was like months ago, and I'm like, "Holy shit!" Like, here I am. I've been playing for like 15 years, and just got creamed by somebody who's been playing less than me. Like, dang, like, and I love that.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, trust me, I've had that share too, where a guy from a rec ball field will come on and just, put the hurting on us, and we like, what, like, where this kid came from, so
Yeah, it's like it's crazy, but it's like it gives you that feeling. It makes you feel like, oh, okay, so we got a new challenge. This is gonna be
yeah,
fun.
yeah, 100%, 100%. Yep.
So, this episode is brought to you by High Stakes Paintball. If you want great gear, great merchandises from a really great brand here in the United States, I recommend High Stakes Paintball. All their drops with their headbands, their jerseys, everything that you're looking for. They have top quality materials. They're very breathable. I personally like them because I have the Liquid Death jersey, and their drops are always limited, but they're really great material. So hit up High Stakes Paintball as well as join their team sponsorships where your team can actually get some sweet swagger on the field when it comes to NXO or any other event you're playing. So hit up High Stakes Paintball. Let's get back to the show.
Yep.
So what got you into playing clips? Because you said you got R5, a Twister R5, and a CS3. So what got you into playing clips?
Okay, I'm not gonna sit here and act like I started with Planet Eclipse.
Okay,
What
okay.
I started with HK, thanks to my coworker Lou, my best friend. He loves the HK, so well he used to, So I had the saber,
Oh, ho, 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 ho.
and then I after the saber, I got Ether 3, and then after the Ether 3, uh working with Pat Kraft, Pat was like, you need something that's a little better than this. So especially if you were trying to do, the sport. So I was like, all right. And then I wound up getting a Planet Eclipse thanks to my nephew who does his homework so much. So that's why I wound up getting a Planet Eclipse.
And then you're just see all the shiny guns and be like, "That's whoo."
The ones that I can afford, yeah, yeah. I mean, there's some that comes out that I'd be like, oh, I wish, but
So, are you close to uh committed paintball in Boston?
am I close to? No, I don't think so. I think that's like a couple hours away from us.
Oh, okay. Oh, because I know that committed paintball or Boston or how or Twister, how you want to say it, they're like I think they're like close a little bit, and you know, man, every time I see a Twister gun, I was like this. God damn, they done it
Yeah,
again.
that's how it was my first year. Every time I saw Twister 2, I was like, oh my God, like in love with it. Because a lot of my friends have Twister, people do not.
Same.
Yeah, you get around people and then you start to want to have it too. Like, and it is a nice gun. I'm not gonna lie, it
Oh
is a
yeah, the
nice.
guys who I interview. By the way, I did interview um with them, and it's a two-person job. There's only two people who ever does it. So, and it's like God, like two people can make these many markers, the swapping, the milling, and everything. I'm like,
Yeah, yeah, it's crazy.
now, and now they have now they're gonna come down here in the south for that big Twister game, um, which is actually this weekend,
Nice, nice.
and that's gonna be interesting. I'm not gonna lie, I can't go unfortunately because
What division?
it's more for like woods ball, kind of like a scenario kind of thing. Um, but they're going all out. I was like, when I saw the list of it, I think I could pull it up. I think I could pull it up because it's a lot. Like because they are dropping the whole um like a lot of prices. Like you got the what's it called, the one of the masks, the Revo.
Mm-hmm.
You got that. You also got other stuff that's going around. Like I think you also got like one of the guns. I think one of the guns is on there. If people on the chat, let me know in the chat, y'all, if whichever prize they got do have for game, because I know one of the guns are on there, and I think it's the Twister R5. But it's they're going all out, and I was just surprised. I thought you would go there because it's Twister. Gotta show some love.
Oh man, I wish. I wish. Probably if they do it again next year, I'll probably go next year.
If they have any guns left over and stuff like that, they probably will.
Yeah, cause like this year, I'm trying to like really set my heart on like coming to NXL. So that's why I've been trying to like grind my butt off this year. So I'm trying to make it to NXL this
How many events are you going to go for in XL?
year. If I make it this year, I'm trying to go to every one.
That's hey, just make sure that you know whoever you go for paint, you know, make sure they give you a good price.
Got you. Got you.
Because I believe some people was talking about paint prices, and they were saying that they got one, like I think it's one price is different than the other when they usually get, and I guess they got a little hectic about it. I don't know. I'm not an owner, so I really don't know about the whole paint prices and everything. Just make sure you got good paint,
Got you. Got you. Got you.
because we all know they like to use that pink stuff. Like it's always that pink stuff they always bring out, and it's like, come on, something different.
And they was paint last year, right? Like a lot of people was complaining about the way the paint was shooting.
Yeah, a lot of people like the yellow ball. Like they like the yellow ball because it can be traceable.
Got you.
It can be very traceable. And also because when you're on the bunker, it's like, I guess you can see better where you're shooting or something like that, especially for the eyes of the fans, which I understand completely because they've been using the same shell and fill. How many years? About a year or maybe two. I can't remember, but I know they need to change it. They really do.
Okay. Would you get the NXL?
No, unfortunately.
Got you.
My work schedule and Excel does not always match, which it does suck because you know, I would love to go to NXL and just like even just as a fan, just go to like NXL one time, and it doesn't even have to be a World Cup. It could be any kind of NXL, and I'll just be like, so this is what it's all about. This is the grand stage, the granddaddy.
I'm excited and nervous, man. Like you said, it's the granddaddy. It's like to me, it's like the NBA for for paintball. The NXL. So I'm excited and nervous about it.
Yeah, I'm telling you this: your legs, you're gonna feel like this every time you get on the NXL. You're gonna be like this, and then like my thing about it when it comes to every tournament, I say this to everybody who has a problem when it comes like with the jitters and everything. Just drink your energy drink or pre-workout. Get all pumped up. Listen to your music. Listen to like a motivation, like one of those motivation speakers, but don't listen to the ones that are like, they just tell you what you want to hear. Like, listen to the ones that like, I think his name is Adding Ezekiel or something like that, and then put it on Spotify, but make it to where that it's keep on doing it like for different songs, different motive, and everything, and you will be like, you know what, I'm ready, got my gun on, let's go. So you're gonna be just fine, man, and I hope you get on Sunday if get on Sunday for the D5 or whichever divisional team you're thinking about doing or playing. And I hope I see you. Be like, hey, you were on my show.
Yeah, 100%, man. I was gonna tell you, however I do, I'll definitely hit you up and let you know.
Yeah, man. If you get on the podium, make sure you give me a shout out because
Of course,
I will love to see that. Like someone shout my podcast on the podium. I would be like this. What?
I got
Thanks, man. Thanks. So how do you feel about NXL right now, since we're talking about it? Like, how do you feel like is it right now? Do you think it's getting better, or do you feel like it's getting worse?
I feel like I can't really answer too much about that because like being I'm such a new player, I really don't know that much. Especially like I can't speak about something that I haven't been in, you know. So talk off of experience because I've never done it. But from what I'm hearing, you know, I feel like you know, I think it's getting better. I think
Okay.
it's getting.
Hey,
I
I
mean,
mean,
got I'm looking at from where the sport used to be. You know, like
right.
come a long way. You know, it's
Yeah.
a
It's
long way.
yeah, and it's still coming from a long way, especially when we went from 15 balls per second to now 10 balls per second. So, I mean, but as a fan, you know, do you think that they could make it a little bit better for fans and newcomers um, to understand a little bit better?
Yeah, yeah, I agree with you on that 100%. Cause like sometimes, you know, like if you're not really playing it and you're watching it, like I have a lot of friends and stuff, like they like, what are they doing, you know, or you know, it just looks like they're just moving, but they don't hear the communication that's going on between the players, and of course, us as players, we know that they're making the moves based off of each other, but you don't know that watching it, you know, and you know, of course, you hear the commentary talking and telling you, but you know, it would be nice to like if you can hear what the players are saying.
Oh, okay. I see where you're cooking there. So you
You
want
know how
them.
like the basketball players or the football players they get mic'd up sometimes.
Hmm.
It would be
Yeah,
nice if you know certain players, at least if not every player, but certain players was mic'd up so you can hear their comms and you know like understand more why they making the decisions that they making and you know why they stop shooting, why they shooting.
right. I understand. Now, do you feel like um okay, here's one that I'm starting to like ask for, like, for us, like people like us who are not a pro, but do you feel like Go Sports should, like, or Major League Paintball, however you want to say it, do you think they should add more content to, YouTube and stuff like that to get the sport from different states the publicity that they need?
Yes, 100%, 100%. Any publicity or any that's being put out there to attract more players, you know, I think is 100% better for the sport, of course. You know, like I keep saying, what you put into it is what you're gonna get out of it. You know, and anything. So, you know, if you want more people to come to the sport, then you got to do more advertisement.
Right. Like, the reason why I say that is because back in, I think it was like before 20, no, it was during 2020. I think it was before they went to Major League Paintball. um Sport had that app, and it will tell you, like, ICPL, or this tournament, that tournament, trying to grow the sport in a better way. But then they got rid of that, and it was all in Excel.
Yeah,
So, and that was a big hit. I'm not gonna lie, that was a really big hit, and honestly, to me, it was a nasty hit.
you think it was a national towards NXL or
I think it was a nasty hit to, like, um, the the sport, because it's hard to, like, watch a sport, especially with these, people who don't never been there, like ICPL, or stuff like that. Um, or other, like, tournaments out there, because not a lot of people has the fundamentals, or not fundamental, the funds, like, money wise, to get the camera crew, to get this, to get that, but they want to grow the sport. So, you know it was also different varieties, different rules, different, a different set of tone.
yeah. I understand.
And nowadays, YouTube and what is it, YouTube and Facebook, they have a lot of rules and a lot of restrictions.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. I agree with you. I agree.
Man, you got a lot of freaking fans here on these. Like, look at all these chats right here. You got a lot of fans.
It's just probably friends and family, man. Like
Hey,
I
that's
got
all. They're
paintball's
still
a big
fans.
community. I think paintball's a big community, so
Hey, I
like
love that. I love when friends and family get on the show and just like, spamming the freaking chat thing. I love it very much. It shows that it's not dead.
yeah, I've met a lot of people in paintball. Like I said, like especially going to these different fields, I've met a lot of different players. Different ages, different nationalities. Like so. Yeah, man. Like thanks to the sport, I've made a lot of more friends.
Yeah, you actually meet more people in paintball who are actually going to form a brotherhood and bond than any other sport.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of the guys I'm actually like very, very close to. Like a lot of the paintball guys, that I play with on a daily basis. Like I play like basically every week now. So a lot of
Every
the guys,
week?
yeah, I try to play every week.
Dang, I need to learn how to do that.
Yeah.
Can't do it all every week. Sometimes I need to like take a break. Boom.
Listen, man, I'm 40 years old, so I don't got a lot of time. So I gotta. And then I got into this sport at a late age, so I'm trying to catch up.
Hey, better late than never.
Yup, yup.
I mean, come on, you don't even look like you're 40. I do. Like Ryan Greenspan, well, what's that football? Tom Brady's age, and he's like freaking going crazy. Thomas Taylor, all these guys. Who else? Oliver Lang, and all these guys who used to play back in they were like 15 or like younger than us. They're still going at it.
I know, but look
They're
how long.
still good.
But look how long they've been playing. They haven't been playing for 2 years. They've been playing for years.
Yeah, and Ryan Greenspan's still going at it.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right.
Like, dude, we're gonna retire soon, please, before you kill yourself. I'm like, shit.
Nah, he still got it. He still got it.
He ain't going anywhere. He ain't not. I had him on the show. He ain't not gonna leave the sport.
Yeah,
He is lived by the marker, and he's gonna die by the marker.
I hear that. I hear that.
So let's this time is you putting me in the hot seat. So if you got any questions you want to ask me about the podcast or anything, lay on me.
Um. Okay. What was the most best interview that you've done? Like, who was like your favorite interview that you've done?
Ooh, ooh, that one.
Favorite and worst. You don't gotta say the person's name, but you can give me like an example of why it was the worst. But the best, I want the person's name.
Honestly, oh, that's a really tough one. I'll have love for everybody who comes on the show because they take, yeah. I mean, because y'all take y'all's time. Like you took the time a day to come on the show and just talk about your career and like your journey and everything. I think if I have to make a list, probably my most favorite one has to be poof. It has to be the interview I had with Grayson Manny.
Grayson Manny.
Yeah, he was the kid that got hit in the semi truck from here, Louisiana.
Okay, 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 okay.
Yeah, he was a kid that got hit in the semi truck here in Louisiana. That I think that's my favorite interview because it happened before the incident, but I think as I look back, I'm like, man, I feel like this is my favorite interview because here's this kid, who was like very young, like 12, 11, 12 years old, and he's like killing it, and then this tragedy happened, and I hope they make a movie out of it. Like they really got to make a movie out of it, and because he was on the brink of death, and then and then literally the same year that he got hit, he's at World Cup and he won it.
Wow.
in the youth division, and I was like, oh my god, like
That's
they need
a story.
to.
Yeah,
That's
that's a
pure
story.
grinding right there.
Yeah, that's a story to tell. Yeah. What was your worst?
Um, well, my first person to come on the show, or
Yeah, like your worst interview that you done. Like not you doing it, like the person that was your guest. Like
the worst.
you don't gotta say that. Give me like a story or something.
Oof. I don't think I can't say anybody because all the stories that we talk about here have always been pretty good. So I can't say there was a worse story um that was on the podcast. I mean, there was a couple times that it was not an interview, but it was more like we had to me and my sign parlor we had to step back from the podcast for a bit to like reinvent our stuff. Um, then I think the real game changer for here was the announcement of that we were not going to be live on YouTube anymore.
Got you, got you. Like you was doing another.
Um, no, so we're still going to post you like stuff for behind the marker on YouTube, but the way we're going to do it is that we're making it as a um something different, like because during my spare time people are gonna I know people are gonna call me a nerd and I don't give a crap. So I like to listen to other podcasts and I love to watch the ones on YouTube because I can get so many ideas. And it's like, ooh, I could try this. Oh, I could try this. I could try this. I could try this. And they try it on here. So, and that's what I'm doing for this season. Like, is going to be like preview of the episode, intro, episode, add a little bit more, add, and then the rest of the episode. And that way it feels like it's actually a professional kind of show in a way.
Got you, got you. I feel like the way you got it set up is real professional, bro. I mean, that's my opinion, but I don't know anything about podcasting. But you
Well,
professional
it's
to
a
me.
hustle. It's a true hustle.
I get you. I get you. Just keep doing it, man. If not today, not tomorrow, not next month, but one day you'll be that number one. You know what I'm saying? So just keep at it, man.
Oh, I achieve to be a number one. I do. What I also achieve is that I hope that people will play more paintball and understand the sport that hey, we're not just shooting guns at each other, you know, or slinging paint at each other. We're this community is just one big ass family.
Yeah, yeah. That's another big thing I think that's like important on the field is that chemistry. You gotta have that chemistry with your team. Like if you ain't got that chemistry, then it's not gonna work out. You're gonna have a bad day of paintball, man.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. Um, and we also got you got those people who are like play airsoft and paintball, and gotta find that chemistry and you know. So any more questions you got, man? Lay on me.
Not,
Don't be shy.
how long you doing this for?
Let's see. It says 2022, late of 2022.
Later 2022. And what made you get into podcasting?
So I have no problem talking about this because it's actually, kind of now a regular question. I'm a very shy guy. I have autism, and I have no problem saying that. Like, hey, I have autism, but guess what? I'm still a badass motherfucker. So socializing was never my strong suit. Me and my girl, who is my silent partner, shout out to you, babe, because she's the one that told me I should do a podcast. So during the pandemic, it was, very hard for everybody because we could not play paintball. During around like 2021, 2022, everybody was still trying to, get back into it. And so my girl, she's like, why don't you start a podcast? Why don't you start talking about the paintball, like show about paintball and stuff like that. I could tell you like the whole list I have about doing a podcast that was going to be on here, but they were so embarrassing until I was watching ECW, the old version of ECW, where
Mm.
back in the 1995 when they were in the um where that in Philly, it was the I can't remember what it was called. It was no AC or anything like area. Can't remember. Hole in wall kind of building. And I remember a wrestler named Tommy Dreamer with the fans, and they were shouting ECW, and then that's where I got the idea. Like, that's why I want three letters that would be, you know, perfect for the scene, but also perfect to say, and that's why I got the Paintball Lounge, or TPL.
It's on. Like I'm not upset.
Yeah, I think you're doing a great job, bro, and I commend you. And I think you gotta give yourself that applause that you gave me earlier, cause like you said, like the fact that you have autism and like you're a shy person and you out here doing these interviews. I know that takes a lot of nerves of you, So applaud
Oh yeah,
yourself. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Making it into a career basically. So
I wish I could take this into a career mode. It's just podcasting for paintball is more difficult than ever before because we're we're like we're small sports still. So
yeah,
and but I would love to make money off of here, like what most people do. But Louisiana's a small sport. Like to get into paintball, same with like you said, New York is, and it's very difficult. But I love it. I love meeting new people now, and I love talking about the sport, and um, love the story. The story's just it's always great.
yeah, yeah. You get to hear people's different stories of how they got into.
Hmm. Oh yeah, without a doubt. So all right, so right now I'm gonna ask you some lightning questions. It's very simple, or it could be long, whichever you want to do, and it's gonna be a little funny, like a little fun thing.
Got you.
So, what mask do you wear?
JT.
No, Ed.
But wait. I actually before that I had the EVSs.
So you're still a core, no matter what. Come on. Okay, what hopper do you use?
The Spirify and the Bunker Kings.
Okay, so you got good ones.
The Bunker King, the first one though, the one with the level.
Oh, the first edition.
Yeah,
Yeah. I wish they brought that back, but they never did,
yeah.
unfortunately. So, okay. So, how do you get start with your day before a tournament?
How do I get started before my day for a tournament? I like to stretch. I told you I'm the type of person I like to like be extra prepared. I like to go over like my gear, my comms. I like to go over the game plans with my guys. I like to stretch, and then I like to make sure that I'm around my guys like the day before and even the day after. Like I said, I'm big on with the chemistry thing. So you know if we're gonna be out there together, it's important that we trust each other when we out there. So I'm very very big on like us spending a lot of time together. So yeah, like me preparing myself mentally and physically at the same time.
Perfect. Hey, that's a great. Hey, so then we're gonna ask this one final question. What do you want to tell all the newcomers or person who wants to get into the sport? Like, what's the one advice you want to tell them?
I would say that if you get into the sport, like find somebody who you can like sponge off of, and just don't give up. Don't give up. Like, you're not gonna get better, overnight. It's not gonna happen within a month. It's not gonna happen within probably not even a year. Not even maybe 2 years. But it's all about the journey. It's the journey that matters. How you get there. Like, another thing that I've learned, from different pros is not to skip the journey. A lot of guys they rank up fast. They go to D5 and then some go to like D4, D3. So it's to like be appreciative to the journey. Like every step, how hard you take to get there. It makes the journey more better, and it makes everything worth it. Like it's not good to like to skip steps into your journey. Just take it step by step, and don't give up. Just stick with the sport. Stick with the sport. 'Cause a lot of people like they get into it and then they give it up right away. So it's just to stick with it no matter what.
Hey, perfect way to say it. Well, man, I think that's all the time we got. I appreciate you for coming on the show. Stay for a little bit. All right. But this has been the Paintball Lounge behind the marker. I'm your host Zachary, and we'll see y'all in the next episode. Y'all take care.